Hi everybody, my name is Tom Hooten, Principal Trumpet of the Los Angeles Philharmonic. Today, I am extremely excited to share with you a new invention, a new resource, a new tool for brass players. It's called the embouchure. You know, one of the problems with brass playing is that so much of what's happening to make it possible to play a brass instrument is happening in areas we can't see. So I invented the embouchure for myself to help with areas like stamina, response, endurance, flexibility, core of sound, range. So let's dig in. I'm going to tell you all about this in the following video. And in case you haven't figured it out yet, the reason it's called embouchure is not because I'm trying to respell the word. It's because I want to talk about the embouchure and I want to bring a degree of security to you and your brass playing. Maybe you've heard about balance. Maybe some teachers talk to you about balance in your trumpet playing. This is one elusive word when it comes to playing a brass instrument. This device will help bring sensitivity and nuance and awareness to things like balance. We want to create a healthy reed, and I'll explain this later in the video. I created the embouchure for several reasons. First of which is my own curiosity. As a developing player still to this day, I want to find new distinctions of how I can make music more efficiently and with more fun. Secondly, was for my students. I want to help them find new distinctions in these same areas, and sometimes giving them the same sensation that I feel can be a real challenge. So this tool is going to help them with that. And thirdly, as a young player, I really had serious limitations to what I could do, and it was really frustrating. Things like range and endurance and power, stamina, flexibility, color, core of sound, consistency from day to day. My days felt up and down and up and down, and I would try to sometimes plan my concerts on the days that I felt good. So whether you're a student, a beginner, a teacher, or a professional, we all want to find ease in our brass playing and put the work in the right place so that ultimately you have access to making great music with no limits. So let's get started. The first component that I want to share with you is the standard visualizer. In your embouchure, it'll come assembled like this. You simply unscrew this portion, and now you have a traditional visualizer, which will come with a 7 rim for beginners and some piccolo work, a 3 for sort of middle of the road size mouthpiece, and a 1.5 for those of you that play a slightly bigger mouthpiece. Today, we're not going to get into too many details, but I want to bring awareness to what each component is created for. The visualizer will basically help bring awareness to what's happening inside the rim from a visual standpoint. In later videos, I will talk about what to look for, what to look out for, and what to aim for. The second component I want to share with you is the Aperture Setter. The Aperture Setter goes inside your visualizer, a nice firm tightening here. The point of the Aperture Setter is to bring focus and sensitivity to your reed as a brass player. The reason that I created the Aperture Setter is to help balance out the first tool. For years, I used the visualizer, but only to find out that it got me spread and with a big diffuse sound. The Aperture Setter is a prerequisite for using the visualizer. And the third part of the embouchure is the conditioning and coordination tool. Now, what do I mean by that? You know, in trumpet playing and in brass playing, there's a lot of fairly simple things to do. The problem is we have to do them all at the same time. If I ask you to blow an airstream, that's simple. If I ask you to form an embouchure, that's fairly simple. Move your fingers a certain way. The problem is we have to do all these things at the same time. The conditioning and coordination tool helps us do 2 things at the same time. These 2 things are engaging the embouchure and blowing with a free, relaxed airstream. Here we are talking about balance again. But the conditioning and coordination tool will help us engage the embouchure while blowing at the same time. Ultimately, I invented the embouchure to go against an idea that has been pervasive in the brass community for years, and this is don't think about your chops. Well, what if I told an oboe player, don't think about your reeds? They would laugh me off the stage. Of course, oboe players spend about half of their time creating optimal, beautiful reeds. They know what they sound like, even from a squawk. They can identify good qualities or bad qualities within a reed. Ultimately, my goal with the embouchure is to have it be a resource or a tool to bring sensitivity to how the sound actually happens. Okay, so let's recap. The embouchure. We've got the visualizer with 3 different rims. We've got the Aperture Setter and the coordination and conditioning tool. Here in this video, you might be wondering, how do I use these things? Don't worry. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have many tutorials that go in specific details, and I'll do the exercise with you. I've created a bunch of backing tracks that will help you find what's the most natural setup and work from there. So thanks for watching. I hope you're as excited about this as I am. It's a game changer for me in my own playing, and I hope it will be for you too.